Alright guys, oxtails and gravy. Alright, so I started out by rinsing these things, putting them in some vinegar water for a little bit, and then rinse them clean, pat them dry, seasoned them up, salt, pepper, a couple other seasonings, and flour. That's what they look like once you season them up. I'm gonna start to brown them in this Dutch oven here, a little olive oil down in the bottom. Then I just put them in there, and I'm gonna just brown them on each side just like this, you know what I'm saying? Because that browning creates all kinds of flavor that's gonna render down into the juices and everything that the oxtails are gonna cook in. So once that's done, I place them in the crock pot like so, you know what I'm saying? Just like that. Then I cut up some veggies. I got some onions and some the tri-color bell peppers. And what I'm going to do now is just brown a little bit of garlic in the same pan that I cooked the oxtails in. Same grease, that's why it looks like that. And remember to cut your vegetables up kind of thick because they're going to be in a crock pot with the oxtails for a while. So you want to really see those and get those whenever you go to eat them later on. You want to be prominent in your gravy, so that's why they're so big. And I cut the onions the way I did in these big triangles because I just think they're just, you know. So once you brown those up, you're going to just put them over those. Don't brown them forever. You don't want to cook them all the way down because you definitely want them to show up in the end. So I just kind of just get a little bit of color on them, creates more flavor, you know what I'm saying? Then put them over the oxtails like so. Now, after that's done, we're going to create our gravy. So just start with the same oil that's in there. You might need a little bit more. I missed the video where I added the flour, but I added probably roughly about a cup of flour in there. If not, it was a little less, a little more, but I'm going to add even more to this. See, that's what I'm doing right here. So I'm just adding a little bit more flour in there because you want this roux to kind of be kind of thick, and you want it to, yeah, just kind of make kind of a lot. You want it to get thick, but yet, you know, not too clumpy. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. You just want to constantly whisk that around because if you stop, that's when it starts to clump up, and you don't want that because your gravy won't be velvety smooth like you want it. So you don't want this to break. So the secret to making any roux is to keep on whisking. Now I did this for a while because I wanted to darken it up because we are making something, a gravy for some beef, and you want a dark roux on it. So then I'm going to constantly kind of whisk this around, get all that goodness off the bottom of the pot. You know, you can see it start to darken up. I have my flash on, so maybe you don't see it as well. After that, I just add in some beef broth little by little. This is I used the all natural beef bouillon cubes. It doesn't have any MSG or any other, you know, additives in it. This is that's what this is. And you just add in little by little. You don't want to add too much. You just want to keep whisking until you get the consistency that you want, which I want it to be kind of thick, not too thin, because it's going to thin out when you put it in your crock pot and let it cook with the oxtails. The oxtails are going to go for roughly 6.5 hours, just depending on when they're at the tenderness that we want. So this is the consistency I was looking for. See how smooth it is, nice and velvety, you know, no lumps. You know, that's from the constant whisking and, you know, not really letting it sit. If you let it sit, it'll clump up and your gravy will break and you just have an oily, nasty looking gravy. You see that? Velvety. You're gonna pour it right over the oxtails and veggies, just like that. And then you're gonna pretty much just put a lid on it. This is what it'll look like first. That's all you need to do. You don't need to stir it around, just put a lid on it. And then check it every now and then. When you come back at the end, toward the end, give it a stir. You see how it thinned out, nice and brown. And this is your end product. I put it over some egg noodles, kind of like a stroganoff. And there you go, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the mukbang.